And greetings to you, you wonderful entrepreneurs out there who are living the live and let live lifestyle of freedom and liberty. And by the way, really great to have you here. I'm Terry Brock, your guide as we go through something. Today, I want to give you something that's going to be really good. 4 words that you want to remember. 4 words that can help you gain a lot more, learn more, and by the way, help relationships as well. They're words that sometimes can be a little bit difficult to say, but going to be important. I want to talk with you about that on this episode because we're going to have some fun. This is a Monday afternoon as I'm doing this live right now. We're going out live and letting you see this on several different channels, by the way. Over on LinkedIn, hello. If you're over there, I want to hear from you as well. If you're over on Facebook or maybe you're over on YouTube, we're using Restream, which gives us the ability to go to a bunch of places. I think bunch is defined as about 30 destinations you could do, but it's a great little tool for that. It lets us see a lot of different options that are available, a lot of different things that are possible. But I want to talk with you about something that's going to really help as we look at what is going on. If you want to leave a comment, by all means, please do that. Would love to hear from you. And since we're live, we'll be able to help you on this to see the kind of things that are available and what those 4 words are. And you're going to love this, and you want to stick around for that. And by the way, you need a little bit of help on your website or maybe working on your video or things like that in marketing. This is something that we're providing now. We have our 20 with Terry program. You'll notice that we have over there, those of you who are catching this on the video, 20 with Terry, WITHTERRY.com, and you can use that to sign up for a place to apply for some coaching and consulting. 20 minutes of your time where you get a chance to talk about what you're doing, biggest obstacles you have with video or whatever for 10 minutes. And then I'll give you 10 minutes, no charge, about my recommendations, what I think we can do, and make sure that it's something you can really use. And if that works out well and you like what you're using, you can implement it, good for you, no charge. And there's also options available for coaching that we do, and we can help you on that as well. But there'll be no pressure. Anyway, remember that, bounce over to 20withterry.com and you can apply to work there. Not everyone is qualified. Some people might ask for tasks, and I go, that's really out of my realm, but I work with video, work with marketing, and particularly presentations as well. Presentations in person, presentations online. So we can help you on that. We want to do it. But I want to talk about this important word, the 4 words you want to use. See, things go through life and we go through life. We're going to see a lot of different events happening. A lot of different people are out there, and we often have very strong feelings. Hey, I do. I've got strong feelings on certain areas in the philosophical area, political realm, what to do. You talk about technology. Yeah, I got some strong feelings on that too. But 4 words can help you a lot when you're in our world today. I think we need this even more than ever. And those 4 words are, I might be wrong. And if you can put that at the beginning of something when you're talking to someone, to say, I might be wrong on this, but I think that, da-da-da-da. Or it's been my experience that, that's something that's a little bit more mature. It's something that shows a little more stability, because if someone says, no, I'm always right, when they wouldn't say always, but they would just say, I'm right, but they always say that, well, that's another thing. But if you can come back and say, I might be wrong on this one, but help me on this. I see this and this and this. Tell me where I might be wrong on that. See, now what you're doing is you're getting questions and you're having more of an honest discussion. And that's what really matters. Reminds me of something I read a while back. You might have seen this also. This is from Cliff Stoll, who's a writer for Newsweek magazine. 1995, he said this about the internet. We're promised instant catalog shopping, just point and click for great deals. We'll order airline tickets over the network, make restaurant reservations, and negotiate sales contracts. Stores will become obsolete. So how come my local mall does more business in an afternoon than the entire internet handles in a month? Even if there were a trustworthy way to send money over the internet, which there isn't, he said, the network is missing a most essential ingredient of capitalism. Salespeople. Well, now today, of course, you and I listen to that. We think, well, that's kind of silly, because what happened, of course, we know what we're using now. We know that we're using these other features. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to make a couple little changes here on my video. So I can put this up here like that. And then I'm going to be able to come back to Cliff and put this over here. So we talk about Cliff Stoll, 1995. That's what it is. You'll still see that there, what he said. But I think that there's a lot to be said for that. Now, Cliff has since come back and said, okay, that statement, obviously I was wrong. I learned a lot, because he is a learner. He's a gentleman. He's a good man. And he learns when he's wrong and he admits it. But, look at that. Instant catalog shopping. Yeah, that's kind of what we've got. It's called Amazon and many other places too. Point and click for great deals. Yeah. Order airline tickets over the network. Is there any other way to do that? I think we can do it a few things, but that's the main way we do it today. Restaurant reservations, of course. Negotiate sales contracts, of course we do that. Stores will become obsolete. Now that isn't quite right. The stores are still here, and we've realized we need that brick and mortar. And matter of fact, that's something that we've discovered, particularly during the pandemic, that we realize, okay, we still want those physical stores. We want them there to help us out, and we need those. The pandemic saw a great deal of change with it, as many of them were closed. We went to online, but now we come back and we say, okay, I still want to go to some of the stores. Other times, the store can have a different function. We want to buy products from them. We want to buy services. I don't necessarily need to go there. It's one of the things that Gina and I found out. We really enjoy using Shipt. That's S-H-I-P-T, Shipt. And they deliver groceries and they deliver some alcohol and all kinds of wonderful things right to our door. And it is great. We pay them a little extra to have that done. Glad to help out, to give them that, because instead of us taking our valuable time to go to a store, find what we need, and then come on back home, well, we can let somebody else do that. And by the way, we order mainly produce. I mean, we're vegan, so we don't order any meat or things like that. And produce is very important to us. Someone might say, oh, I don't want to get the produce because they might get the wrong kind of melons, or they might get the wrong kind of this or that. We have found that there's some wonderful people that help out on that and can really do a good job and do a good job. So I think as we look at what Cliff said back in 1995, well, that was good. But things are a little bit different today, and we're seeing that there's a lot of good. Frankly, I think we're better off today than we were in 1995 in many respects. Now, of course, we're vividly aware of the other things that are going on and the other yuck that's going on in the world. Shall I put it that way? A lot of yuck that's happening, and we see what's going on. We're vividly aware of what is happening, and I think there's a solution for it, but we're going to need to do it. And yeah, we're at some points where it's pretty crazy right now. We see what's happening with the world and how people are fighting each other and arguing all the time. Here in the United States, we see it almost continuously, and really fierce fighting. Not just they disagree with each other a little bit, but really aggressively disagreeing. I think it's closer to the Civil War back in late 1850s, and the 1860s during the war itself. We saw a lot of that in Americans, and 750,000 people ended up being dead because of that. Not good, and we definitely do not want to go there. I think we need to learn those 4 words. I might be wrong, ... and you go from there. I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching the recording of this, please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about that. Saying I might be wrong, it opens up a door. Now, you're not saying I am wrong. I might be wrong. And hey, I know I have not only might been wrong, but have been wrong many times. And you might be able to say you've been in the same place. But think about what we can do to try to understand things from the other person's point of view. I think if we can seek to first understand and then be understood, as Stephen Covey told us so well in his book, then we're going to do much better. I think what we need to do is to step back and say, okay, hold it. Here's how I believe on it. I'd love to hear from you, and I might be wrong on this, but I think that and go forward. It sounds a little more pleasing, a little more gracious, a little more, here's an important word, kind. Being kind is a good thing. It's something that we need to look into, something we need to do more of, I think, in our world. It's kind of hard to be too kind. Now, it doesn't mean you get walked on. No, I might be wrong, but I might not be wrong. I might be right. Could be another side of that. But I might be wrong shows that you have courage to say, hey, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to see what we can do on this. Let's aim for the truth. Rather than going for my opinion versus your opinion or anybody else's opinion, I think we need to go on those principles. Those are most important. Kind of the way I think about a lot as an agorapreneur, one who is an entrepreneur and believes in that freedom lifestyle, live and let live, voluntarily living life and doing what you want. I think that too often we are looking at things as if we know everything or we're supposed to know everything, and if we don't, then something's terribly wrong with us. But I think you have a lot more respect for someone who says, I could be wrong on this, and if I am, I'd love to hear the evidence. But I think what we need to do is to look at evidence, not base our decisions, like in so many elections people do, on personality. They base it on personality. Let's face it, we've seen some pretty, I'm going to say, scummy personalities in politicians here in the United States. And I'm not speaking either side, and that is both Democrat and Republican. And I would have to say also in third-party candidates sometimes as well, regrettably, because guess what? They're human beings. We need to look at the principles. Look at the principles, not the personality, when we make our decisions. And I think that's going to be most important going forward. But I want to hear from you. I might be wrong on that. And I'd love to hear from you and find out what you think. Because in closing thoughts here, I want to make sure that I'm always going for what can make me a better person. I want to get better. I always want to get better. So getting good feedback from others is really, really important. And I think we want to see, oh, I got a comment here. Let me see if I can click on that and that comment. Let's see. Whoa, I'm using a different tool here. And when you use some different tools, then it's going to be a little bit different on there on the way that they come in. And let's see, I can put this over here. There we are, Pam Steffi. Pam, nice to hear from you. Live by that. I might be wrong. Kindness is so important, and the knowledge there might be I'm not aware of. Great talk, Terry. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very kind and really good to hear from you, Pam. And I think that is the key. We all have to live by that. And I think if more of us lived by that, as you say, Pam, I might be wrong, we find out that we would get along a whole lot better. And by the way, I love those picture there. Is that from a place called Napoleon? I don't know, but I see the people there in the uniform. That looks kind of interesting. Might be the reason I say Napoleon is because that's where, as I get above here, that's where we both went to school. So great to hear from you on that. But yeah, I think that's what we need. Kindness is so important, and the knowledge that there may be info I'm not aware of, that is true. And I think if we can just admit that, then we have a much more scientific approach to it. And I think it's good. Reminds me, in my closing thoughts here, I think of what I forget who it was right now that said it. He was in a class one time, and there was a professor who was very adamant about a particular point. And this point was very strong. He wanted to make a point of that. There was a visiting lecturer that came over, and the visiting lecturer stood up and had a point of view that was the opposite of the professor. And so the professor let that person speak, and they gave evidence and talked about evidence, had a few questions back and forth. And at the end of that visiting guest's lecture, the professor stood up and said, I have to admit, I was wrong. I heard what he said, and based on the evidence, I now have to change my opinion. And I think that is the mark of a very wise person, of a very astute person. And someone like that is someone that we want to pay attention to and we want to listen to. So we'll do that in our closing thoughts here, but let me come back here for just a moment here. Pam had a further comment on there. Oh, Stockbridge, my dad in high school. Okay, well, and that would have been a few years ago, 1 or 2 years ago, but there he is. Yeah, you're back. We'll tell, I don't know if your dad is still with us, but tell him we said hello, if so, but I wish you and him the very best back there in Stockbridge. We have Stockbridges around the country, different places. I know where I grew up and where we were there in Michigan, there was a Stockbridge up near Lansing. That's a good place there. So a lot of good stuff there. Oh, and we've got another visitor here coming in, our friend Bob Pick from Chicago. Bob, hope you're doing well today. Hello there, sir. Always good to have you stop by. And by the way, if all of you need a good dentist in the Chicagoland area, Bob can help you out there. He's over in Aurora. But he can help you out, make some advice of anything. He can do that. It's Dr. Bob Pick, Dr. Robert Pick, but he goes by Bob. And wonderful guy there, and also has a lot of good programs on the internet and out on social media with his tools. I love it whenever I get a chance to stop by and see his mornings, and Kick Butt Monday I think he has, which was earlier today, and I missed that today and I wanted to see it, but really good stuff. Bob, it is always good to hear from you, sir. Thanks for stopping by. So I would say there's a lot of good things out there. If we can learn to say, hey, I might be wrong. Those 4 words can prevent a lot of arguments, can prevent a lot of problems in life, and can make for much better human relations with people interacting with each other. Let me know what you think, and I am going to look forward to hearing from you and look forward to seeing you again on another program here from Agorapreneurs, where we stand for the idea of freedom and liberty and live your life in a live and let live way. Let others do what they want to do. Don't harm others. Don't take their stuff. Don't hurt them. And we will have a much better life. I'm Terry.